We got a 3. We got a 2. And we got a 1. Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Rocco Tribbiani. I'm happy to be here. I'm giving you a good morning here. And you know what? Because what time is it? What time is it? It's around 8:15 a.m. It's 8:15 in the morning time, which is why I'm telling you good morning. Usually I do live streams maybe in the afternoon, maybe in the evening. But now, Rocco Tribbiani is coming to you live and direct from the morning time. And here I'm just gonna, I'm talking to you from the comfort of my bed, my slumbering abode, and maybe later we'll go to the rocking chair. But for now, we're just gonna be doing this, and we'll talk about a few things. We'll talk about a little bit of other tariffs. We'll talk about a little bit about perseverance, and maybe the meaning of life. Meaning of life is something very difficult. Meaning of life is very difficult. I don't know. I mean, who really knows? You talk to some of the religious leaders. I bet you in the comfort of their home, they still don't know. Very, very strange. This the meaning of life. Yeah, run. You're right. You're going like this with your little emoji here. And I agree, it's very complicated. What is the meaning of life all about? How you doing, Jai Shri Ram? Good to have a Jai Shri Ram back in the house. Good to have a Run back in the house. Rocco Tribbiani here. And we'll be talking about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and maybe a little bit of this and that. All together, it's going to be great. But the meaning of life, it's an enigma, and we try to figure it out. I mean, we just saw last week, we had that entire family die in the helicopter crash in New York City. Yesterday, there was a plane crash in upstate New York, and everybody in the family died except for the high school daughter. So can you imagine that? Now the daughter is mourning the loss of her mother and her father, her 2 sisters, and her brother. And it's very tough. Imagine that. Imagine right now you lose everybody. I mean, her life has gone into a tailspin right now. No pun intended. Her life has been very difficult now because now she's got to wrestle with the idea of how do I go on without my mother, without my father, without my siblings. And we wonder why God allows so much negativity in the world. Why God allows there to be so many... so much lying, so much cheating, so much stealing, so much badness, a lot of badness in the world, and it makes you wonder what is the meaning of life. Now, well, they always tell you, you can't have good without the bad. You can't have good without the bad, and that's what Donald Trump is telling us too. You can't have the good benefits of tariffs if you don't get some of the bad benefits for the tariff. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? I don't know. We got to see. But the whole idea, hey, beef leaders, I will not call you daddy because you are not my daddy. You are not my daddy. Don't you try to tell me that you're my daddy, Mr. Beef. Don't you be telling me that. Very nice. Hey, Jai Shri Ram, you got a very nice photo right now. You got a very nice photo. And beef leaders here is crying, wah, 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 wah. Hey, what are you doing here? I think instead of that, you need guys to be clicking like. Guys, for the new people joining, my name is Rocco Tribbiani. I'm from New York originally. Now I live down here in Florida. And today we're talking about the Trump tariffs, the meaning of life, and persistence. And right at the moment, we are talking about... Let me see, make sure this is locked. There we go. All right. Right now we're talking about the meaning of life. The meaning of life. And do any of you guys have any insight on it? Even all, you look at all, I'm Roman Catholic here. I'll tell you that right now. So I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But even there's some there's some questioning. There's no one in this world who is completely satisfied with life all the time. There's no one in this planet who's always thinking, everything's okay, every single moment. If they do, there's either something wrong with them, or I'd like to talk with them further to find out exactly what the secret is here. But you notice this in life whenever you find somebody who's super positive and says nothing's wrong, they're putting on an act because there's essentially something wrong with the human condition here. We're dealing with this thing called life. Who the heck put us here? Why are we here? Where are we going? Hey, Walal, how you doing? How you doing, Akimi? Good to have an Akimi here, and we're good to have a Walal. My name is not Monroe here. I'm gonna come after guys. You guys know my name is Mr. Toothbrush. Back when I was working up with the family in New York, and Walal, don't make me come over there and brush your teeth. My name is Rocco Tribbiani, and don't you forget it. And don't you forget it. But the human condition is very strange. We got some of us who try very hard. We try hard year after year, month after month for many years, but we don't see progress. And then there's some other people that don't even try. They don't even try, and just success just gets bestowed upon them. It just magically comes. Where did it come from? Where did it go? I don't know. I don't know where the success came from, but it's going. Life is inherently unfair. Life is inherently unfair. So if you're looking for fairness in life, you're not going to find it. However, Donald Trump thinks fairness is key. Because Donald Trump says, I'm imposing these tariffs because I believe the tariffs are going to level the playing field for the United States, make things a little bit more fair. And I don't know if they will. We'll have to see. Time will tell. The stock market was going up since January. Then the stock market went down dramatically when Donald Trump announced the tariffs. Now the stock market's starting to go up again, but certainly not up where it was before. It has really come crashing down. It has really come crashing down. Hey, Walal, you need a toothbrush? You need a toothbrush because you're getting ready for class. Why do you need a toothbrush if you're getting ready for class? You should be using a toothbrush right in the morning before you wake up. Actually, that would be nice if you used a toothbrush before you woke up. I guess you'd have to have a special assistant there by your bed, watching you, and maybe 5 minutes before the alarm, putting the toothbrush in with some paste, brushing your teeth, so then when you wake up, you're fresh, you're ready to go. Hey, how you doing, Alfredo? Hey, Alfredo from Regal, from South Beach. Let me tell you this guy. Now, this guy, Alfredo, he is the manager. He is the manager of the Regal movie theater in South Beach. Very good guy. He's a very good guy. I came out. I went there. I went there with Monroe. We went to the movie theaters together. And let me tell you what happened. First of all, went to go see a very good movie with Jason Statham called A Working Man. Very good film. Very good film. If you want to see a good movie, you go watch A Working Man with Jason Statham. It's probably even better than the Beekeeper. If you saw the Beekeeper movie, you're going to like this one even more. Now, I'm coming out of the theater, and I just see this door. There's a door that's open. And naturally, Rocco finds open doors very curious and very suspicious. And Rocco said to Monroe, hey, Monroe, let's go check out the door. And Monroe, he's a little bit cautious. He goes, hey, don't go near the open door. Don't go near the open door, Monroe. Rocco. And I said, hey, Monroe, chill out. My name's Rocco Tribbiani. I'm Mr. Toothbrush. I know when there's an open door, I must investigate. So what I did is I went and go look. I looked in the door, and I see a guy. It's an office. There's an office with movie posters, and there's a man sitting behind a desk, and I go, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? And he goes, I say, what's going on here? And he goes, hey, why don't you come on in? And he goes, hey, and I said, what? And he goes, hey, you're my new friend. Why don't you come here and sit down? No, I'm very suspicious now. Someone I don't know going, hey, you're my new friend. But you know what? He had a New York vibe a little bit. Had a little bit of a New York vibe, not going to lie. Turns out he's completely from Miami. Never even lived in New York. But And I said, hey, Monroe, come on in here. This guy seems harmless. And Monroe's going, hey, we got to go to bed. And I said, hey, Monroe, we're going to go meet a new friend. We're going to go meet a new friend. So I go over there, and I'm talking there. And I go, what's going on in here? You tell me what's going on here in this office. Turns out this guy is the manager of the entire movie theater. So now, guess what? Rocco's got an inside connection. Rocco has an inside connection in South Beach. When Rocco wants to go get the air conditioning changed, Rocco just knocks on the door and go, hey, Alfredo, it's hot in here. Do something about it. So it's very good. And, we had a good chat. Monroe came and joined. We talked about New York. We talked about family life. We talked about relationships, psychology, and life and God. It was like a YouTube live stream, but we were not on YouTube. It was very, very, it's true. He's very Al Pacino-esque. If you know what Al Pacino looked like when he was in his 40s, that's kind of like what this guy looks like. He's got a little bit of, he reminds me of some guys I used to work with back up in New York. I'm not going to lie. I'm telling you, this guy seems like, I don't know. I think he knows some secrets. This guy, Alfredo, and look, his name's Alfredo. His name is Alfredo. What are you going to do? His name is Alfredo. And it's their first time joining the YouTube live stream for Rocco Tribbiani. It's very good to have you here. Alfredo, thanks for joining. Good to have you. And, but anyway, we were talking about, we were talking about the meaning of life here. And, maybe we'll have Alfredo as a live stream guest one of these days, because he has a very interesting story talking about how he believes he found God. And maybe one day he'll share that story with all of you guys as well. But the meaning of life, very, very, very difficult. When you're younger, I think it's a little bit easier. When you're younger, life is a little bit easier. You hope, okay, when I grow out of teenager years, things will make sense. When I graduate college, things will make sense. Oh, when I start working at my first job, things will make sense. But then the older you get, you realize, it doesn't make sense. Hey, it just doesn't make sense. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But a lot of times life, very confusing. Very, very confusing. And so let's talk about, again, let's switch gears here. And talk again about the Trump tariffs. Very confusing. A lot of controversy there. And on one hand, I think everybody's upset because the stock market has gone down. You lost a lot of gains. You lost a lot of gains. How you doing, Major? Good to have you here. It's a major pleasure to have a Major here in the live stream. Make sure you click like, Double tap the screen here and give us a like, Major. On the other hand, with the tariffs, I do believe, and it's true, that the United States has been taken advantage of for a very, very long time. Here's a little history lesson for you guys. I think it was around 1918, 1917, sometimes around there, when there was no income tax. There was no income tax in the United States. How did the United States make most of its revenue? From tariffs. From tariffs. And somebody came up with the bright idea, why are we charging the people outside the country? Why don't we charge our own residents? Let's double dip. Why does the government have to always double dip? I don't know. But now, after they created the income tax, they started double dipping. So now they're getting taxes from the revenue from outside the country and revenue from inside the country. But somewhere along the way, they started increasing the taxes on the people inside the country. And then they removed the taxes from the people outside the country. And so Donald Trump is going, why are we giving such a burden on our very own flesh and blood here in the United States? On little Rocco Tribbiani, on Rocco Tribbiani's mother, on Rocco's friend Alfredo, on Rocco's, I don't know if Major's not an American citizen, I don't think. So Major's not paying taxes. Walal is paying taxes. Well, no, his parents are paying taxes because Walal's in school. But you guys get the point. And over the years, the amount of tariffs, now the United States is the biggest market for consumers in the world. Now people might say, no, China is, no, Russia is, but you got to think of consumers. The average ability to spend for every American is much higher than the average ability to spend for every Chinese person or every Indian person or even every European person. And so America is the biggest market. And so apparently Trump is going, hey, you want access to this market here? You got to play fair. But there are pros and cons to everything, ladies and gentlemen. And definitely our stock market portfolios are down, and I hope they're not down for very long. So I hope whatever Trump is doing, I hope it starts to make sense soon. Because at least from the dollar cents point of our portfolios, it makes perfect sense in terms of making things better, in terms of making things more fair for the United States. But it's definitely unfair to see Rocco's portfolio dropping. Don't know how that happened, but we needed to go back up again. And then, hey, we'll talk about something else here. We'll talk about persistence and perseverance. Again, Rocco loves talking about that because that's how things happen in the world. You can never give up. You got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep pushing forward and make sure things do not stop. You must persevere. Now, again, we're going back to the Trump tariffs. Trump is persevering. He decided to pull back on some of the tariffs for 90 days. So maybe it's a little bit, I don't know, maybe he violated the technique of persistence and perseverance. But I think the philosophy is there. When you got something, when you got a big dream, you keep pushing forward. You don't give up. You got to keep things moving forward. That's what perseverance is. Think about that. We got Blue Origin rocket ships. We've got SpaceX rocket ships. We have Virgin. I think Mr. Branson has got his own rocket ships going up as well. He's got Virgin Cruises. He's got Virgin Air, and he's got Virgin Space Voyages too. Now, those Virgin Space Voyages probably a lot more expensive. And how you doing, Jay Smart Person? You ask if I like your photo there. I can't even see the photo. Oh, it's the toast that you burned this morning. Well, then I think it's wonderful. It's good to have some burnt toast. You know, someone the other day was telling me about burnt toast theory. And burnt toast theory is the idea that when you burn your toast, you're very upset. But as a result, maybe you're late for work. And then you're upset that you're late for work. But because you're late for work, you have to stay an extra 15 minutes at work so you don't leave at 5 o'clock. But then at 5:05, there's a big set of accidents on the highway. A lot of people die. And you realize, you know what? Thankfully, because of the burnt toast, I wasn't on the highway at 5 o'clock, and I survived. And I'm doing better now. So the idea is with burnt toast theory is that just because something negative happens, you don't necessarily know. Maybe it will lead to something positive. So you all should remember that today. And here, I got a burnt toast here. Rocco Tribbiani used to have 60 people here watching in the live stream. Sometimes 200, sometimes 250. Now we've got 6 people. That's burnt toast. Not very good. Feels very disappointing. But maybe that's a good thing. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know why. I don't know where. But somehow, maybe, having a lower number of people watching now will be a positive thing. We don't know. We don't know. Jay says, it's my picture because it's good to show your failures and not just your successes. Hey, Rocco Tribbiani is picking what you're putting down. It's very poetic. Very, very, very poetic, Jay. And it's important. And your profile picture epitomizes what we're talking about here, burnt toast theory. It epitomizes the idea that good can come from bad. Definitely good can come from bad. Oh, that's a good question, Jay. Am I Sicilian? No, there's an uncle on my mother's side who is from the great island of Sicily. And there's a rumor that uncle, very, very many years ago, was one of the people who initiated the Sicilian Mafia. I don't know if it's true. His name was Marcelliano. And this guy named Marcelliano, he apparently was very influential in La Cosa Nostra. And he helped really create it. Maybe it's just an old wives' tale. Maybe they're just lying to make Rocco feel. Maybe it was just a story to make little Rocco feel like he was part of something very special. I don't know. But definitely, I think, look at this. Of course, there's some Sicilian in here. How else could I be anything but a little bit of a Sicilian? That's probably why Rocco likes Sicilian pizza. Not always. Depends. Depends who's making the Sicilian pizza. You know, the truth is, ever since I moved down to Florida, I have not seen Sicilian pizza anywhere. I think that only exists in New York. Where the heck is the Sicilian pizza in Florida? Rocco hasn't seen it at all. And now that I think about it, I don't think they even have Sicilian pizza in Sicily. I think the origin of Sicilian pizza is New York. And I don't know why. Maybe maybe Donald Trump's tariffs, maybe it prevents the export of Sicilian pizza down to Florida. Because I'd very much like to try a new piece of Sicilian pizza because it's been a long time. Jay's telling me there's no language called Italian. When Italians say they know Italian, they're actually speaking the Tuscanian dialect of Italian, but there are other dialects like Sicilian. Hey, that's very fascinating to know. But you're saying there's no language called Italian, but when they're speaking, they're calling the Tuscanian dialect of Italian. That means there is Italian, they're just different dialects of Italian. Kind of like Chinese. There's a Beijing dialect, there's a Shanghai dialect, there's a Guangzhou dialect, a Fuzhou dialect. There's a dialect for basically wherever you are in China. Hey, Jay, you just wrote the exact same thing that I said. It's the same thing with Chinese. If someone says they know Chinese, they usually mean Mandarin. Yeah, but it's still Chinese. Chinese is the language, and then there are many different dialects. Italian's the language, there are many different dialects. Well, with Chinese, the written language is exactly the same. I don't know if you knew that. The written language is exactly the same, no matter what dialect of Chinese. That's why if you watch a movie in China, they'll put subtitles. That way they can export the movie all around China, and everybody can understand it regardless of what language was used to record it. Because the written language is all the same. Rocco got up way too early this morning. I'm telling you that. Rocco Tribbiani got up way too early this morning. Same with Chinese. If someone says they know Chinese, they usually mean Mandarin. Now, Rocco knows a little bit. Monroe speaks Chinese very, very, very well. Monroe speaks Chinese very, very well. Now, Rocco knows a little bit of Ni Hao. Rocco knows a little bit of Wo Du Zi Han But beyond that, his Chinese very limited. His Chinese is very, very, very limited. Jay, you're right. Language is very weird. I mean, even me, listen to me. Me speaking with this New York, New Jersey, Westchester, Stamford accent. You know, I got a little bit of everything. And maybe even a little bit of Long Island. I got a little bit of Long Island in there. And a little bit of Staten Island. Definitely some Jersey Shore. We got a little Queens. We got a little Brooklyn. Got a little Manhattan. You know, we got a little, hey, I'm walking here. Got a little bit of that too. We got a little bit, hey, I'm live streaming here. We got some of that as well. We got a little bit of this. We got a little bit of that. You know, a little bit. A little bit. But I talk about perseverance. Why am I talking about that? Because, you know, YouTube algorithm changes all the time. I don't know why the YouTube algorithm, very, very, very little new people here. You know, YouTube is no longer sending people here to the live stream like they once did before. I don't know why. YouTube used to send hundreds and hundreds of people live stream. Now for some reason, Rocco, you know, honestly, I think I gotta go brush YouTube's teeth. Rocco needs to go brush YouTube's teeth. I think that's what this is all coming down to. So if the next time you check on YouTube and you say, you know, what's that smell? That smells minty fresh. It's probably YouTube's teeth. You're probably smelling YouTube's teeth coming through to you because I'm going to brush their teeth and say, hey, you got to send me new people. You gotta send Rocco new fans. Why is Rocco not getting new fans? But we got 8 people here. Maybe we do got some new fans here. And if so, definitely click like, definitely subscribe, turn on the bell for all notifications so you become part of the Rocco family, part of the Rocco Tribbiani family. And that's it. Hey, Jay is throwing out lots of linguistic, limericks here. Lots of very, very interesting here. That's true, Jay. Chinese dialects they're unintelligible, but they're called dialects. In South Slavic languages, Serbian are mutually intelligible, but they're called languages. Hey, Jay, that's the smartest thing you've said all day. And it's a very good analysis. The fact that in China, no one can understand one another unless they're speaking Mandarin. Whereas if you're but you know what? The strange thing is, all those Slavic languages, they were all part of Yugoslavia. It was all basically the same language, and then it branched off, and it just became these different dialects. Yeah, they're all called languages, but technically, they are dialects. Jay, you're a very, very interesting person. Guys, you should give a round of applause to young Jay here. Jay is indeed. He lives up to his name. He's a very, very, very smart person. I'm very happy to see our good man here with such wonderful smartness. The smartness that goes higher than I've ever seen before. Official language of Yugoslavia, Serbia, Croatian, because all the languages are so similar. Hey, you're a girl. Oh, that's right. Jay, I forgot. You're a Korean girl, if I'm not mistaken. Are you a Korean girl? Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling me that you are a Korean girl? Very, 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 very interesting. It's very good to hear that you are here. The question is, Jay, do you speak Korean? And do you speak it fluently, or are you an ABK, American-born Korean? Which one are you? Or do you actually live in South Korea? I mean, Jay's a very, very enigmatic person. Very, very enigmatic. So we don't know. So we're gonna wind up this live stream in about 3 minutes here. We'll go for a full 30 minutes. And I'll just remind you, stay persevered, stay persistent. Don't give up on your dreams. It's going to be very difficult. Everything is going to come up against you to try to drag you down. And I'm telling you, don't do that. Don't you get dragged down. You keep going forward. Jay, you live in England and you know Korean. Look at that. The plot thickens. Now we know a little bit more about Jay, smart person. Jay is not only someone who knows Korean, but Jay, hey, is someone that lives in England. How you doing, Lumi? Long time no see. Good to have you here. It's good to have a Lumi in the house. You know, it was a little lonely here, and I was wondering what that was. And now I know it's because Lumi was not here. But now that Lumi's here, everything is okay in the world. Everything is correct. And by the way, Lumi, if you haven't, double tap the screen, give us a like. Definitely subscribe if you haven't. But I think Lumi's been here. Have you been here before? Let's see. No, first time. Lumi, this is the first time that you're coming here. Is this the first time that you are coming here? Is that a fake accent? Hey, what are you talking about as a fake accent? My name is Rocco Tribbiani, and I come on to Monroe Mann's live stream sometimes to talk. That's all I'm saying. I'm from New York, New Jersey. Now I moved down here to Florida. I used to work with the family. My name used to be Mr. Toothbrush. How you doing, Skaterade? Oh, we talked about Trump tariffs before. I think in general, they're probably a good thing to help even the odds here, to get them to the negotiating table, to help make things fairer. On the other hand, Rocco's not very happy with his stock portfolio going down. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen, and Rocco's not very happy to see that. And yeah, Lumi, I'm in America. I live down in Florida right now. Used to live up in New York. I got to tell you, I miss it. I miss the Sicilian pizza too. But Florida has its good sides as well. And Lumi, definitely hope you subscribe. turn on the bell. Though turning on the bell apparently doesn't do anything because I got 5,500 subscribers. Where the heck are all the subscribers? Most of them are telling me they don't get notifications anymore. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, as I said, we're just doing a short 30-minute live stream today. Hope you guys have a very good day. Remember, keep your dreams alive. Persevere. Be persistent. Don't worry. And don't sell your stock portfolio because your stocks are going to come back up again. Don't you worry. I promise that. Skaterade comment. I'd rather 20 Americans get paid running AI robots than 200 plus from China. I'm old enough to remember when it all went to China. Back when I was a kid, back in New York and Brooklyn, and it was always made in America. That was the big thing. Everyone was pushing for made in America, but made in America doesn't exist very much anymore, and that's what Trump's trying to do. Trump is trying to bring some manufacturing back to the United States of America, so we're not reliant on China, not reliant on India, not reliant on Southeast Asia, and it's not a bad thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But there are some growing pains, and it might take some time before we see it. But Rocco understands what's going on with that. Rocco understands with that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very pleasure to have you here. Lumi, good to have a good new subscriber. Come back again. We'll do some more live streams, maybe with me, maybe with Billy Bob, maybe Timothy Hilford, maybe Monroe Mann. We'll do some music, or we'll do some more comedy. Maybe we'll talk some politics. It all depends, ladies and gentlemen. Have a very good day. Rocco's going to get up, take a shower, get on with his day. He's going to get on with their day. And Skaterade, yeah, I know a lot of people do believe that it's a joke that they are in the World Trade Organization. Hey, Jay, I don't know why I don't do it either. I don't get notifications. No one gets notifications. Very frustrating. But I wish you guys have a wonderful day. Always check back again on YouTube. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.